G'day everyone and welcome back to the shed. Today we're looking a little bit at what I've been up to on the 34 Ford behind the scenes, and it has been some time since I have put much effort into this car, and basically I reached the point before where I needed the space on the workshop floor, so I shelved it in the corner. But I was also a little bit burned out on it, for want of a better word. I'd reached the point with a lot of the little pieces I'd been making, and some of the ideas I had weren't really there, and I needed a bit more time to sort of put some more thought into how I wanted to go about it. So I've had a rest from it and I've come back fresh, and I've come up with some new ideas, and I've got some really cool stuff made. And first of all, these liners for the doorposts, to reinforce those. I've got those pretty much set in. This was the first one I did on the left hand side, and I've got a little bit of a loose fit where the door hinge recess goes into it. What I learned from this one, I made the right hand side one a bit tidier. I'm not going to make a replacement one of these, I'll just weld some pieces in there to fill that in there. We've got to put the plates into the posts for the door hinges to bolt to, and there'll be a little bit of adjustment there, so they'll be caged with a little metal capping on the back of it so they can't fall out. The holes will be oversized and we'll be able to slide the hinge in and out a little bit, and once the screws tighten up it'll lock the hinge in the right spot for your door alignment. This little recess down here is going to have a neoprene tacking strip into it. Originally the cars that use this sort of thing, this is more 1950s technology rather than 1930s technology, but I'm using the poetic license there. This in this car was originally a wooden pillar with the upholstery nailed into it, so we're making it all steel. So the factory versions that use this system, they had little pressed out legs which would have been punched out of this face inside here, and they just sort of sat over the top. So when you would get a car on the assembly line, the legs would be bent out the way, you'd push the tacking strip in there and the assembly line worker would just hammer those little tabs down to hold it in place. We can just use self-tapping screws. We could just screw it every 3 or 4 inches or so, and that would be enough. We can glue it in there as well. That will also work. So a little bit of a grey area there, what I'm going to go with on that, but it'll fall into place. The other thing I've done, because this is the door side here, it'll have a windlace on here to match the original appearance. The door, well, the interior trim card will come up behind, and it will also be nailed into the same spot. We can also attach it like a much more modern car. We can drill holes through here and just use the panel clips that were common from, well, even the 1940s onwards, to clip them in there, the wire clips. I think even some of the Model A, North American Model A's had wire clips in them as well. But this is the support foot for the bottom of it, so that will sit in the car and run across to the chassis rail to support the bottom of that, and that's recessed in there so that the interior trim is going to sit flat over the top of the whole lot. That's come along a fair way since you guys saw it last, and a bit of progress on there, and we're sort of ready for mock-ups and fits in the car and things like that before we move on to other things. This is the panel. This is a right hand side one. It fits from the doorpost back to the wheel arch, so your fender would just be in there, and the quarter panel is going to come down and run along underneath here, and we've got a rocker panel that fits along the bottom of that. Because I'm going to retain the wood in the back of the car for appearance sake, it's going to come through into this area, and the back wall of the cab will be in here somewhere. It's going to sandwich the wood in the sides there to hold it in place. So that's what this step here is for, is the 3/4 inch thick wooden boards will sit on this, and the cross rails for the body support will go in here. This was a prototype one. I didn't like it. I changed the doorpost a couple of times. So I've changed this dimension on the front a couple of times. So it's been flattened out and refolded, and I've mucked around with that, getting dimensions where I wanted them. I shifted the wheel arch. The fender's been moved backwards and forwards a bit to get alignment on the running board. And so I've cut that off and I've made a temporary piece there to get the arc right there. So eventually I came up with a pretty good pattern. And from that, I've made a left and a right production one. Now, it looks straight, but this edge here is actually curved, so that's been hammer formed, and I made a steel hammer form for that. I tried a wooden one to start with. It was one of those things to sort of save a bit of time and make it a bit easier. I ripped it out of a piece of wood, but it didn't really give it a nice sharp edge, and even though none of this is visible once the car is assembled, it still just wasn't floating my boat. So I went back and made a new steel hammer form, and I had to cut a piece out of it to allow the bead line to sit into it. So this recess is to clear the bottom of that bead line there once it's all clamped together. So I decided to make the curved bottom section and the curved fender section there all in one piece, and it worked beautifully. This piece in here butts up against this fold, so the top's all straight folds. I did them first, did this front fold so it'll be 90 degrees to the top, and then it was just a case of measuring down from this edge, front and back, sitting this in place, and then I could fold that bottom edge, hammer form it around there, and the same with the curved edge there. So they've come up good, and the holes I put in it to actually bolt the hammer form on, 2 out of the 3 will line up with the cross rails, so they'll just become plug welds to join the cross rails for the body support in place. This third one at the front, it's a spare one, I've just got to weld that up and grind it off. Now this is the way things have gone and the evolution of where I got to on the project. This one's a cross member to go in the body, and I made this pretty early in the piece, and I formed it with a simple Pullmax tool I'd made, and it made a nice bead line, but it didn't make a great end. And I actually set these just with a hammer, made these curled ends on them. I don't like them, they're not that neat, particularly when you look at them from the other side. They've been hammered. And once again, it would only be people at a car show that want to crawl around underneath, or if I've got it supported over mirrors, people might be able to see that they're a bit ordinary. But I came up with a better idea after that, so I've decided this one would be a prototype and I'd build a production one later. So from building those nice side pieces, which actually attach to this rail, got all excited and I thought, well, I can make a new one of these and actually weld some pieces together. Well, went down to the stock rack and I didn't have any of this material, so it sort of shot me in the foot there. So then it was a case of, I'm still enthusiastic, what can I do? So I started throwing some thought towards the tailgate. Now there's been a lot of ideas in my head with the tailgate. One of the big problems is I want to retain that original look. Now the original tailgate was not a great machine, and I should just grab one. How freakishly rare is that, an original 1934 Ford utility tailgate. Now all it is a skin with a bead line running across it, and it's got folded edges. They're crimped over a piece of flat all the way around, which you can see in here, and then the flat was actually screwed to the boards prior to the skin being crimped onto it. So it's really simple. The main frame of the tailgate is the 2 hinges, and they are curved to match the back of the body, so they've got a bit of a curve that would match that. And the boards were rebaited to fit around the hinge. They were screwed to the hinge. This perimeter of steel was screwed to the boards, and then the skin was put on that. So when the tailgate's open, or even when it's closed, you've got this curved surface in here. Now, as we know, with modern utilities, you open the tailgate and it becomes an extension of the floor, so it's got to be flat inside. So my tailgate needed to be flat on the inside, but it's also got to have the original boards in there, cut at the original widths with the original profile and things like that. Then you've got to hold it shut. Now, Ford came up with this idea, little plate on each side. There's a pin that pokes through the hole in the plate when the tailgate closes, and then there's this little hinged arrangement which drops through a hole in this pin to actually hold it from falling open. Now, it's going to rattle. These cars had a tonneau cover on them. You can see the press stud holes in them still, and the tonneau cover would have to be cut around it. When you look at the design, you've got an open hole there. If the car gets wet, moisture's going to get in there. The tonneau cover's just sitting on this top edge here. It's just material. It's going to weep a bit of moisture in there, so I didn't really like that. So from way back when, I liked the idea of the late 1940s, early 50s utes, where they had a twist handle in the middle of the back of the tailgate. So that's the direction I've been heading for a long time. Now the tricky thing is, how do you make a tailgate with boards on the inside of it and a latch mechanism hidden inside it, and you've got to be able to put the whole thing together, and then if the latch fails, you've got to be able to take it apart again. So a lot of thought and a lot of toing and froing, and I've come up with this idea. So what we will have is a two-piece tailgate. So here will be the tray which will form the frame of the tailgate. It will have the two hinges, the same length as the originals and the same style on the bottom with the rolled end and the pin through it. That will be welded to this side of the tray. So that would sort of form the back area of the boards. The boards are going to sit inside here. They're going to be 1 inch thick, so 25 millimetres, and I want them to flush with the edges. So we've basically got this thickness here is roughly a 1/16, so we're going to have to trim the edges of the boards down, put a little rebate all the way around it, which will be a 1/16 down to allow for the piece of metal, and it's got to be smooth across the top when it's put together. This is part of the outside skin section, so we're going to make a perimeter, 3 sides, so there'll be another rail welded in here, which will come up underneath here, and I'll put another section in here with nuts in under there, so that to go together we will slide the skin and the perimeter down over the top like that. And originally these pieces of metal were on the sides of the tailgate to reinforce it, so we can put screws through on the factory settings through there, and that will pin our boards in place and tie the whole assembly together. Now to get to the latch mechanism will mount on this side of the tray. We'll make a little rocker in here and a little square hole through there, and much like the Holden panel vans with their top tailgate and a lot of other sedan deliveries and things around the world have got the same system where you twist the handle, it just pulls 2 rods in to work it, and the board that lines up with the latch will be rebated on the back to allow clearance for the whole latch to work. So if we need in the future to pull it apart, it's only a matter of undoing the screws around the tailgate. We'll have the screws through the hinges in here. We can slide the outside skin and the frame off the main guts of the tailgate, the frame and things like that. And then once the screws are out, the boards will just lift out of here. Easy, isn't it? So that's where we've got to with that. So from here, I've got to finish the skin off. So it needs a fold putting on the bottom. This in here has got to be crimped around this frame in here. So we'll wind up with a little divot welded into here, so this edge will come around and make the little bump to fit into the bead line, and then once we can crimp these edges back down, I can weld these edges together and it'll tie it all together and it'll make a nice folded seam all the way around the inside. Because let's face it, when it's open, it's still got to look good as well. Our twist handle will mount somewhere in there, and it should all be a good thing. Big shout out to all our subscribers and viewers. Thanks guys, without you guys we've got absolutely nothing. And hello to CJ and Isaiah, regular viewers from Melbourne town. Keep safe guys, we'll catch you next time.